state of mind from cradle to grave. Delta, infancy. Actually, in regards to a lifespan, the states should have been listed in the opposite order, because we're born in Delta. Maybe we even dare say that we are conceived out of nothingness, which obviously is zero. Delta is understood as deep sleep, and yet the infant dwells in Delta for months, maybe even years. They do not sleep all the time, do they? Of course not. They are awake all right, but in no way conscious like us adults. There is no separation between child and parent. We are all one. This is the time when the child adapts to the matrix of the five senses. It learns the language, spoken as well as body and facial such. This is the time when it conquers crawling, walking and climbing the stairs. The infant sucks it all up and learns at a rampant pace. Was I too harsh to the people who insist that we are sleeping in Delta? Well, there is something to it. I have to admit, most people will have no memories from the time before they were born or from birth itself. Not even from the next few years, where the child is known to dwell in Delta, but no memory does not equal deep sleep, or what? Next comes theta, preschool. Maybe the time of the first memories is indicative of a transition from mainly being in Delta and entering theta. In theta, we are becoming separate beings consciously and start saying I about ourselves. Now we are exploring the big world, even round the corner, outside the safety zone of mother's control, with plants and insects, sun and shifting weather. We still learn everything by perception and without discrimination. We imitate our parents and loved ones to a degree where we sometimes have to laugh, listening to the child repeating with impressive resemblance what father exclaimed in an exalted moment some time ago. Theta is associated with movement and feeding, like when ruminants are drifting over the pasture. Alpha, childhood. The healthy 6-year-old child will raid his known world with a happy smile and red cheeks like a Pippi Longstocking. He is exploring and ingeniously experimenting with tree houses, damming up the stream and launching tucks or soap bubbles. Up through Delta, Theta and Alpha, the child is easily traumatized as there is little or no reflection. Next up is Beta, which brings reflection and protection on what is happening. Everything is perceived as true and oneself as part of the big us. Alpha is associated with daydreaming, but also with the non-competing play and brainstorming. For the adult and Beta addicted, turning to Alpha may enrich creativity and happiness and is thus praised and sought for in competitive businesses where you have to pull rabbits out of the hat on a daily basis, like film production, games, or journalism. Beta, adolescence. If the child is allowed to live a life with little stress and fear, it will slowly develop the ability to move past the happy playing together and be able to protect itself against unwanted thoughts and impressions. Beta creates the reflecting filter that allows us to decide which thoughts and perceptions we invite into our lives. Hence, to the adolescent, trauma is less of an issue and only occurs through life-changing events that are clearly visible in the biography, like accidents and loss of loved ones. Beta is associated with problem solving, with hunting and gaining ground, and benefits where resistance has to be overcome. It is competition and game. We will deal extensively with beta later. Gamma, adulthood. Whereas the teenager tends to be biased, using his newly achieved ability to filter and digest incoming impulses, the mature adult may develop compassion and empathy. Where beta gives the confronting edge, gamma rather joins forces from all parts of the brain, as in imagery and visualization. Gamma is a state associated with big achievements in sports, music, and ingenuity, but also sheer learning, even reading things like this book. With gamma, we are processing the highest amount of data possible with our conscious mind. Sound gamma patterns are associated with happiness, psychological health, and spiritual awakening, as opposed to depression and even epilepsy. With gamma, we are recreating delta-like properties on a conscious level. Where the infant is being in delta, feeling unity with very sparse consciousness, the adult can consciously create the state needed to connect to his fellow beings and the web of life. This state seems to be where we are moving, and so there will be more about gamma later.